The American dream of million-dollar homes is unraveling, and faster than anyone imagined. In 2025, cities that once flaunted sprawling estates, luxury condos, and glass towers are now seeing values collapse at rates that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Homes with rooftop decks, home theaters, infinity pools, and sprawling garages are sitting unsold, slashed by hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. This isn't just a slight market correction. This is a full-blown collapse of America's high-end housing markets. And tonight, we're counting down the 10 U.S. cities where million-dollar homes are falling hardest. Stay until the end, because the #1 city is losing wealth at a pace not seen since the 2008 financial crisis. Number 10. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix has long been celebrated as a sun-soaked paradise for the wealthy. Luxury estates in gated golf communities, sprawling desert homes, and high-end condos along Camelback Mountain became symbols of success. But in 2025, the city's million-dollar market is unraveling faster than anyone expected. At the peak of 2022, the median price for Phoenix luxury homes, the top 10% of the market, was $1.15 million. By mid-2025, that same figure has plunged to $920,000. That's a drop of nearly $230,000 in just 3 years, or about 20% of value wiped out. Homes that once listed for $2.5 million are now seeing price cuts of $400,000 to $700,000, and in some cases, owners are accepting offers hundreds of thousands below what they paid during the boom. Days on market have ballooned from just 20 days in 2021 to over 120 days in 2025 for homes above $1 million. That means properties that once sold before hitting the MLS are now languishing for 4 months or longer. Inventory is swelling, with 9.5 months of supply for luxury homes, nearly double the healthy level of about 5 months. Rising costs are compounding the problem. Property taxes in Phoenix average 1.3% of a home's value, so a $2 million estate racks up $26,000 annually. Insurance premiums, especially for desert flooding and wildfire risk, have more than doubled, often topping $7,500 per year. Combine that with mortgage rates above 7%, and a $1.5 million luxury home now has a monthly payment exceeding $9,000, up from $6,200 in 2021. Even rental income isn't helping. Luxury vacation and short-term rentals are oversupplied, with average occupancy under 50% and nightly rates down 15 to 20%. Investors who once relied on Airbnb revenue are quietly unloading properties, often at steep losses. Phoenix's luxury market is no longer a safe investment. The rapid drop in values, soaring carrying costs, and prolonged time on market put it firmly on the list of America's top 10 cities where million-dollar homes are collapsing. And as we move to the next city, the pattern becomes even clearer. Oversupply and high costs aren't just Arizona problems. They're sweeping across the country. Number 9. Miami, Florida. Miami has long been America's playground for the wealthy. Waterfront estates, penthouses with ocean views, and condos on Brickell Avenue that sold for millions. But in 2025, the city's luxury housing market is facing its darkest reckoning since the 2008 crash. Between 2020 and 2022, Miami became the global hotspot for luxury buyers. New Yorkers fleeing high taxes, Californians chasing sunshine, and international investors from Brazil, Argentina, and Russia poured billions into South Florida real estate. Luxury condos that sold for $1.5 million in 2019 were reselling for $2.4 million by 2022, an increase of 60% in just 3 years. Waterfront estates on Miami Beach doubled in value, some reaching $10 million or more. But the tide has turned dramatically. Today, the average price of a Miami luxury condo has dropped nearly 22% from its peak. A $2 million condo that once sparked multiple bidding wars now sits unsold at $1.55 million. Waterfront homes are cutting $1 million off asking prices and still languishing on the market for months. The reasons are clear and brutal. Oversupply is one culprit. Between 2018 and 2024, developers completed more than 20,000 new luxury condo units. That flood of inventory has far outpaced the number of buyers capable of purchasing these million-dollar homes. At the same time, Florida's insurance crisis has made ownership far more expensive. Annual premiums for waterfront mansions have skyrocketed from $15,000 to over $40,000, and luxury condo HOA fees have doubled, with some buildings charging $2,500 per month. Even rental income can't save investors. Occupancy rates in Miami's luxury short-term rental market have fallen below 55%, and nightly rates have dropped by 20%. Foreign buyers who once dominated the market are retreating, spooked by U.S. interest rates, global instability, and the sheer carrying costs of owning property in Florida. The result? Empty towers, desperate sellers, and a market that is collapsing under its own weight. Miami's luxury dream, sun, skyline, and ocean views, is drowning in numbers that simply don't add up anymore. And while this collapse is shocking on its own, the domino effect it's causing is just beginning, and it will ripple through the rest of the country's top markets. Number 8. Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale was once the ultimate desert oasis for luxury living. Gated golf course communities, sprawling desert estates, and million-dollar condos along Camelback Mountain made it the place to be for wealthy buyers. But in 2025, Scottsdale's luxury market is collapsing in a way that few expected. The median price for luxury homes peaked at $1.2 million in 2022. Today, just 3 years later, that number has fallen to $975,000, a nearly 19% drop. For properties above $3 million, cuts of $500,000 or more are now standard, and many of these estates sit unsold for months, sometimes exceeding 180 days on the market. Why the sudden collapse? A perfect storm of oversupply and a shrinking buyer pool. Between 2018 and 2022, developers went on a building spree, adding hundreds of high-end golf community homes to the market. Now, inventory for homes priced above $1 million sits at nearly 9 months of supply, almost double what's considered healthy for a balanced market. Carrying costs are another huge factor. Scottsdale's property taxes may be lower than California, hovering around 1.2%, but insurance premiums have skyrocketed due to wildfire and flood risks. Annual premiums that once averaged $3,000 now exceed $7,500. More than doubling the cost of ownership. At the same time, mortgage rates above 7% mean that monthly payments for a $1.5 million home have jumped from $6,200 in 2021 to over $9,200 in 2025. Even luxury rentals, which were once a reliable income stream for investors, are softening. High-end vacation homes are oversupplied, with average occupancy rates falling below 50% and nightly rates down nearly 15%. Investors who once banked on Airbnb Gulf getaways are now quietly offloading properties at losses. Foreclosures are starting to emerge in North Scottsdale, particularly among families who stretched to buy $2 million estates during the boom and are now underwater. Scottsdale's image as the desert luxury paradise is fading fast. What was once a stable, aspirational market has become a cautionary tale of how quickly over-leveraging and rising costs can unravel even the most exclusive communities. The numbers don't lie. Steep price cuts, soaring carrying costs, and falling demand make Scottsdale an undeniable example of a luxury market collapse and a warning for what might come in other sun-soaked cities. And while Scottsdale struggles with its desert heat and expensive estates, other luxury markets are facing even sharper declines, like Los Angeles, where the glamour of Hollywood can't mask the harsh realities of a collapsing high-end housing market. Number 7. Los Angeles, California. For decades, Los Angeles has been the epicenter of luxury living in America. Beverly Hills mansions, Malibu beachfront estates, and celebrity-owned compounds turned the city into a symbol of wealth and glamour. But in 2025, even LA's glitter is tarnishing. Median luxury home prices in LA County peaked at $3.2 million in 2021. By mid-2025, they've fallen to $2.55 million, a staggering 21% decline. Ultra-luxury estates above $10 million are cutting $2 to $4 million from asking prices and still struggling to attract buyers. In some areas of Beverly Hills, homes that once sold in days now sit unsold for over 200 days. The reasons are brutal and numbers-driven. Oversupply from years of speculative building has flooded the market. Property taxes in LA County average 1.25%, meaning a $10 million estate now costs $125,000 annually in taxes alone. Wildfire-prone Malibu properties have insurance premiums exceeding $100,000 per year, and monthly HOA fees in gated hillside communities have doubled in just 3 years, now exceeding $10,000 per month in some cases. Mortgage rates above 7% have turned million-dollar monthly payments into reality. A $15 million estate now carries a $100,000 plus monthly mortgage, making these properties unaffordable for many, even among the wealthy. Hollywood's downturn and entertainment layoffs have further thinned the pool of local buyers, while foreign investors, once a reliable source of demand, are retreating amid economic uncertainty and interest rate hikes. Even luxury rentals aren't providing relief. High-end rents have stagnated, while short-term rental restrictions and oversaturation have left Airbnb investors facing declining occupancy rates. Foreclosures, once unthinkable in Beverly Hills or Calabasas, are quietly rising. Streets once lined with exotic cars now display price-reduced banners, and homes that were symbols of endless wealth are being offloaded at deep losses. Los Angeles has always been the land of dreams, but in 2025, those dreams are facing a harsh reality. The LA luxury market is a cautionary tale. Even in America's entertainment capital, high costs, overbuilding, and economic shifts can transform once coveted mansions into liabilities. And if LA is cracking, wait until we look at San Francisco's even harsher reality, just up the coast. Number 6. San Francisco, California. San Francisco has long been the crown jewel of West Coast luxury real estate. Pacific Heights mansions, downtown condos with skyline views, and tech titans bidding endlessly for prestige properties made the city untouchable. But in 2025, even this market is crumbling, and the numbers tell a shocking story. Median luxury home prices, which peaked at $3.5 million in 2020, have fallen to $2.75 million, a staggering 22% decline in just 5 years. Downtown luxury condos have suffered even more, with some losing nearly 30% of their peak value, leaving units once sold for $4 million, sitting at $2.8 million today. What caused this dramatic drop? A combination of factors has converged. Massive tech layoffs since 2022 have gutted the city's high-income workforce. Remote work has hollowed out demand for premium downtown condos, leaving once coveted addresses empty. At the same time, crime and homelessness concerns are deterring even wealthy buyers, who are increasingly looking elsewhere. Carrying costs are punishing. Property taxes on a $3 million home now exceed $35,000 annually, and earthquake insurance averages more than $15,000 per year. With mortgage rates above 7%, monthly payments for these homes can top $15,000, up nearly $5,000 compared to 2021. Inventory is piling up. Luxury condos that used to sell in weeks now sit unsold for over 200 days, with developers offering massive incentives, free HOA fees, luxury upgrades, even Tesla giveaways to attract buyers. Despite this, demand remains alarmingly weak. High-end rental demand has collapsed as well, with rents down nearly 18% and occupancy rates plunging, making investment properties far less attractive. Foreclosures, once rare in San Francisco's high-end neighborhoods, are quietly creeping in. Families who purchased $4 million homes during the boom are now underwater, watching as their equity disappears. San Francisco's collapse shows how a market tied closely to a single industry, in this case tech, can crumble almost overnight. When combined with skyrocketing costs and overbuilt inventory, even the city that defined American luxury is now on this list. And if you think San Francisco's fall is bad, just wait until we see what's happening to Aspen and other elite vacation markets. Number 5. Aspen, Colorado. Aspen has long been the ultimate symbol of exclusivity and wealth. Ski chalets priced between $10 million and $20 million, billionaire compounds hidden in the mountains, and luxury condos that cost more than most cities, mansions made Aspen untouchable. For decades, it was considered nearly recession-proof, an elite playground for the ultra-wealthy. But 2025 tells a very different story. Luxury home prices here have dropped nearly 18% from their 2022 peak. A $12 million chalet that sold to a hedge fund manager just 3 years ago now lists for $9.5 million. Vacation condos that once fetched $4 million are now struggling to sell at $3.2 million. That's nearly $1 million hit for properties in a market once thought invincible. Even the mid-tier luxury homes are being affected. Properties in the $2 minus $5 million range have seen average declines of 15 to 20%, and the number of days on the market has more than doubled. Homes that once sold in weeks are now lingering for over 200 days, forcing sellers to cut prices repeatedly. The reasons are stark. Rising mortgage rates, above 7%, have priced even wealthy buyers out of homes they could have comfortably afforded in 2021. Carrying costs, which include property taxes, insurance, and HOA fees, have skyrocketed. Annual insurance premiums for wildfire risk alone have risen to $25,000 to $40,000 for a typical Aspen estate, while property taxes and HOA fees add tens of thousands more. That means a homeowner of a $10 million property could easily be paying $60,000 to $80,000 a year just to hold on to their luxury investment. Short-term rental restrictions have further reduced demand. Airbnb revenue, once a major justification for investing in Aspen real estate, has dropped 25%, making it harder for investors to justify holding onto high-priced properties. Foreclosures, while still rare compared to other markets, are quietly emerging. Even billionaires and high-net-worth individuals who over-leveraged during the boom are now forced to sell at losses. The image of Aspen as an untouchable, recession-proof haven is fading fast, and the math no longer works for many luxury buyers. Aspen's combination of sky-high costs, declining demand, and over-leveraged owners puts it squarely on the list of the top U.S. cities where million-dollar homes are collapsing. This isn't just a luxury slowdown. It's a market in full retreat, showing that even the wealthiest enclaves are vulnerable when prices, costs, and interest rates align against them. And if you thought Aspen's mountains were a safe bet, wait until you see the sprawling estates on the East Coast that are facing similar, but even harsher, declines. Number 4. The Hamptons, New York. The Hamptons, long seen as the ultimate summer playground for Manhattan's elite, is unraveling in 2025. Once a symbol of exclusivity, prestige, and safe luxury investments, this coastal paradise is now facing one of the most dramatic luxury market declines on the East Coast. Median luxury home prices peaked at $3.2 million in 2021. Today, they've fallen to $2.6 million, an 18% drop in just 4 years. But for ultra-luxury beachfront estates, the numbers are even more shocking. Properties that were once listed at $20 million are now slashing $3 to $5 million and still sitting unsold for months. For some, equity that seemed untouchable has vanished almost overnight. So why is the Hamptons on this list? The first reason is oversupply. Dozens of new luxury builds flooded the market during the pandemic when New Yorkers fled the city. These estates, complete with private docks, infinity pools, and sprawling lawns, were meant to attract high-income buyers escaping Manhattan. But now, inventory is sitting at nearly 12 months of supply, nearly double the level considered healthy for a luxury market. Homes that once sold in weeks now linger for 180 days or more. Carrying costs have also become brutal. Property taxes on an $8 million estate now exceed $120,000 annually. Insurance premiums for hurricane and flood risks can top $50,000 per year. Add in staff costs, groundskeepers, security, cleaning, and some estates now cost $300,000 to $500,000 a year just to maintain. For investors who counted on short-term rental income, the picture is even worse. The Hamptons vacation rental market is oversaturated, with weekly rates down nearly 25%, leaving many properties operating at a loss. Foreclosures, once unthinkable in a market of New York elites, are quietly emerging. Banks are repossessing multi-million-dollar estates, and even seasoned investors are hemorrhaging cash. The Hamptons, summer dream of endless demand, prestige, and safe returns, is turning into one of the East Coast's most striking examples of luxury market collapse. In short, the Hamptons isn't just sliding, it's free-falling, and the combination of soaring costs, oversupply, and collapsing rental revenue has placed it firmly on this list. And while the Hamptons struggles, we're about to see an even more dramatic collapse just a few states west, in a city known for its glitz, glam, and neon lights. Number 3. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas has always been the city of excess million-dollar penthouses on the Strip, sprawling hillside estates, and mansions with infinity pools, home theaters, and private bowling alleys. But in 2025, the city's luxury real estate market is facing a collapse few saw coming. Median luxury home prices peaked at $1.1 million in 2022. Just 3 years later, they've fallen to $880,000, a 20% drop. Homes priced above $2 million are now routinely slashing $400,000 to $600,000 off their original asking prices. And even with these reductions, many are sitting unsold for months, sometimes more than 180 days. The numbers tell the story. Luxury condos on the Strip that sold for $2.5 million in 2021 now sit at $1.9 million. Gated hillside estates that once commanded $5 million are now listed for $3.8 million, yet buyers are hesitant to bite. Inventory has surged to nearly 11 months of supply, meaning homes that once sold in weeks now linger on the market for half a year or more. Why the sudden collapse? Overbuilding during the pandemic fueled the boom, but the market is now saturated. Mortgage rates above 7% have slashed affordability, even for wealthy buyers. Carrying costs are brutal. Property taxes on a $2 million home exceed $20,000 annually, while insurance for desert flooding, wildfire, and extreme weather adds another $7,000 a year. Monthly expenses for a $2 million estate that once hovered around $6,000 are now closer to $9,000, leaving even high net worth individuals questioning the math. Short-term rentals aren't helping. Airbnb bookings are down 20%, and oversaturation means many luxury vacation properties sit empty. Investors who once relied on Las Vegas tourism for cash flow are offloading properties at steep losses. Foreclosures, once almost non-existent in Vegas's luxury market, are quietly rising. Exclusive enclaves like Summerlin and Henderson, which used to symbolize wealth and glamour, are now displaying price-reduced signs on nearly every street. The Vegas luxury dream, glitter, glam, and endless demand, is fading fast. Behind the neon lights, desperation is spreading. For the first time in decades, Las Vegas isn't selling a fantasy. It's selling losses, making it one of the most shocking collapses on this list. And as we move from the desert to the coast, the next city shows that even seaside luxury is not immune to these pressures. Number 2. San Diego, California. San Diego was long considered the quiet rival to Los Angeles in the luxury market, a coastal paradise where beachfront mansions in La Jolla, cliffside estates in Del Mar, and luxury condos overlooking the harbor were symbols of wealth and prestige. But by 2025, the city's million-dollar market is collapsing faster than anyone expected. Median luxury prices peaked at $2.4 million in 2021. Today, that figure has dropped to $1.95 million, a staggering 19% decline in just 4 years. Ultra-luxury estates above $8 million have been forced to slash prices between $1.50 and $2 million. Yet even with these steep reductions, properties are languishing on the market for months. The reasons for San Diego's dramatic fall are clear and painfully financial. Property taxes alone on a $5 million La Jolla estate can now exceed $55,000 annually. Insurance premiums for homes at risk of wildfires and coastal flooding have soared above $25,000 a year, often forcing owners to spend more than $500,000 on insurance over a 20-year period. Add mortgage rates that have climbed above 7%, and a $3 million property's monthly payment jumps from $12,000 in 2021 to $18,000 in 2025. Even wealthy buyers are feeling the strain. Inventory has ballooned. Luxury homes now sit unsold for 150 days or more, sometimes exceeding 200 days in the most exclusive neighborhoods. Sellers are slashing prices aggressively, offering concessions like free upgrades, paid HOA fees, and even luxury cars. Yet buyers aren't biting. Rental income, which once helped offset these costs, is no longer a reliable safety net. High-end vacation rental occupancy has dropped below 50%, and nightly rates have fallen 25%, leaving investors struggling to cover carrying costs. Families who bought at the peak of the market now find themselves underwater, watching equity evaporate as values tumble. San Diego's combination of high taxes, rising insurance costs, oversupply, and a disappearing buyer pool has made it one of the most extreme examples of million-dollar home collapse in the country. It isn't just a luxury slowdown, it's a full-scale market unraveling, and the numbers make it clear why San Diego ranks number 2 on this list. And if you think San Diego's challenges are bad, wait until you see what's happening in the ultimate luxury market, New York City, where the scale of the collapse is almost unimaginable. Number 1. New York City, New York. New York City has always been the ultimate symbol of luxury real estate. Penthouse apartments overlooking Central Park, historic townhouses on the Upper East Side, and glass towers downtown promised not just homes, but status, wealth, and security. But in 2025, the market that once seemed untouchable is facing one of the most dramatic luxury collapses in modern history. Median luxury home prices peaked at $4.5 million in 2020. Today, they've dropped to $3.55 million, a 21% decline in just 5 years. That means buyers who thought they were securing a stable investment are suddenly seeing their wealth evaporate by nearly a quarter. Ultra-luxury penthouses, once priced at $50 million, are now slashing $10 to $15 million and still remaining unsold. A penthouse that once sparked bidding wars with multiple 7-figure offers now sits empty for months. Even high-floor condos and iconic towers that offered breathtaking skyline views are seeing price cuts of 20 to 30%, and investors are walking away rather than waiting for the market to recover. Taxes and costs are making the collapse even worse. Property taxes on a $10 million condo now run over $200,000 per year, while HOA fees often exceed $5,000 a month. Insurance premiums, especially for high-rise buildings exposed to storms, flooding, or terrorism risk, have skyrocketed. Carrying costs for ultra-luxury units can easily exceed $300,000 a year, making what was once an investment or status symbol a financial burden even for the ultra-wealthy. The demand that once fueled this market has vanished. Wall Street bonuses are shrinking, international buyers are pulling back amid global instability, and remote work has weakened the need for prime Manhattan addresses. Inventory is now sitting at 14 months for ultra-luxury condos, compared to a healthy market where 3 to 4 months of supply is considered normal. Luxury rents, once thought to stabilize investments, aren't helping. Vacancy rates in Manhattan's top towers are at 20 to 25%, and many units are being offered at deep discounts to attract tenants. Investors who bought expecting rental income are now hemorrhaging cash. Even foreclosures previously unthinkable in Manhattan's ultra-luxury market are emerging. Multi-million-dollar estates that once symbolized untouchable wealth are now being repossessed by banks. Streets that were once lined with luxury cars and bustling with high-end activity now display price-reduced banners, and towers that define success sit eerily quiet. New York City isn't just on this list because it's expensive. It's on top because the numbers are staggering, the losses are massive, and the collapse is systemic. The median price drops, the scale of ultra-luxury markdowns, the astronomical carrying costs, and the vanishing buyer pool make NYC the epicenter of America's million-dollar housing unraveling. The skyline that once symbolized endless demand is now a graveyard of empty glass towers. And if even Manhattan, the heart of global finance and prestige, can crumble, it sends a chilling message to luxury markets everywhere. No home, no matter how expensive, is safe from collapse.